All right, hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to MCP's monthly cyber chat. My name is Mike. Today we're going to go over some of the latest threats and some trends in cybersecurity, and let's get right to it. So the first topic I wanted to bring up today is regarding Trend Micro's new report that's highlighting a growing number of risks on industrial control systems, or ICS for short. Now, ICS is a crucial element for utility plants and factories where they use lots of different sensors and some Internet of Things types of devices that are used to monitor industrial processes like generators and hydrothermal electric generators, things like that, things that are certainly part of our critical infrastructure today. Now, USB drives are really a serious threat in these types of environments. A lot of these are what we call air-gapped environments. So in other words, they don't have direct connections. However, what we're finding in the latest reports is that the USB drives that can be plugged into these systems are still able to send or download malware onto these systems and give some control or wreak some havoc in these systems. So make sure if you have any types of systems or these types of things in your facilities that you're scanning any pluggable media that's going into those devices and being used for monitoring those systems. All right, so something else that's pretty exciting I wanted to talk to everyone about is the US Secret Service has released a most wanted cyber fugitive list. Now, these are going to be just like the FBI's top 10 most wanted list, but this is going to be really the US Secret Service's cyber-focused fugitive list. Now, most of these guys are going to be connected to financial cyber crimes that are on here because those have really, really big tentacles. But this is a great step in the right direction. Hopefully this should help bring some cyber criminals to justice that are out there. Some of the neat things that I can tell you right now is that the top two guys, suspects that are on there, there's a $1 million reward for information leading to their arrest. So when you get a chance, go out there and look at it, and keep that in your quiver. This is definitely a good step in the right direction of bringing national and even global attention to cyber criminals around the world. All right. So the next thing I wanted to talk to everyone about is the NIST release of what the critical software definition is for US agencies. Now, this is part of the recent executive order that the Biden administration had put out, where they had required that NIST get some input and create a definition for what is critical software. This is all part of their new cyber initiative that's coming out of the administration. Now, NIST solicited input from device manufacturers, private industries, public agencies to help define this. This definition does include several attributes that, if at least one of them is met, would identify the software as critical. Things like running with elevated privileges, controlling access to data, or anything that has a direct connection to network or computing resources. So the definition does include operating systems, web browsers, network monitoring tools, and more. This definition is going to be really helpful because as NIST and CISA and the federal government start to put out these standards, you're going to see a lot of states potentially adopt some of these standards. And indeed, a lot of our client base could see a lot of these things kind of rolling into their neck of the woods. Now, critics of the new critical software definition say it's too expansive. It's potentially unmanageable. But there are others who say this is just a good starting point. It's going to help us target some of those supply chain pieces that we've seen a lot of areas of risk here in the recent past. And that's where the risk is perceived as being the highest. And the few things that come to mind are going to definitely be the SolarWinds attack from last year, and then some of the other critical infrastructure attacks that came in, like the Colonial Pipeline. Now, over the next few months, NIST is going to actually expand on this some more. They're going to actually put out a list of products. This was all part of the executive order. So they're going to put out a list of products that meet these critical software definitions. And then eventually they're going to provide some guidelines for how you would secure those products going into the future. So more to come as these agencies continue to pump out information on the cybersecurity initiative. So a little bit of a switch in gears for this month's cyber chat is I wanted to help everyone understand, if they've ever heard the term zero trust security, what that means. Now, basically, zero trust security means that this is a design model. Okay, this is something that was going to be for all devices in a network. It's going to refer to a model that any of those devices, even if they're connected within four walls in your office building, they should not be trusted. Hence the name zero trust. So the principle is never trust, always verify. So every connection is verified. Hardware and software and networks must be verified along with the user every single time. And it's really designed to protect from the modern threats that are out there today. Network segmentation that would help prevent some lateral movement from a bad actor. These are things that zero trust is meant to do. It does not have specific products associated with it necessarily. It's just a specific design model. So for public safety, local government, it could assist greatly in keeping cyber attacks contained instead of having the ability for a potential attacker to spread laterally. And we all know that we're connected in many different ways. But this architecture is definitely going to help protect valuable data. So in short, zero trust is a design model. That means that all devices should not be trusted by default. And every connection and user should be verified every time. Okay. So I want to end our cyber chat for this month with some remote worker best practices as our cyber reminder. Now, if you work from home or you have to travel for your job, you'll still have to sometimes be able to access critical applications and data. So I want you guys to consider the following cybersecurity best practices if you're a remote worker or you're traveling for your job. Number one, be mindful of that physical security of your device. Keep it close to you, keep it in your possession at all times. This is something that we've seen happen before in the past, where devices get stolen or misplaced and then they end up in the wrong hands. Make sure your endpoint protection software is up to date. When you're not connected to the network and maybe you're connecting somewhere else, this is something that you want to make sure you're getting the latest updates. And if you're not sure, ask your IT administrator before you head out. Now, also avoid unsecured Wi-Fi networks. As we all pick up our laptops and go around town or go from airport to airport or hotel to hotel, it's potential for internet access to be available on an unsecured Wi-Fi network. Now, the danger there is that often because they're unsecured, that does allow other connections on there. So trying not to use an unsecured one. Instead, look for the secured ones if they have a code or some sort of password that you have to put in. Those are going to be much more secure. And then one of the other things I wanted to remind everyone out is, lock your screen when you're away from your keyboard. Use some two-factor authentication where applicable. These are very good practices as a remote worker. Now, as always, I appreciate your time watching this video. I hope you find it informative and helpful. You can always contact us at our website, www.missioncriticalpartners.com. While you're there, sign up for our cyber threat advisories via email. That's it for this month. Stay cyber safe, everyone.
Mission Critical Partners is a professional services and IT services firm that helps clients evolve their public safety systems and operations and improve emergency response through our extensive experience, knowledge, and resources. By providing insight and support every step of the way, our clients are able to transform their mission-critical operations, maximize the value of their investments, and ensure optimal performance and success. Learn more by visiting missioncriticalpartners.com.